Hello and welcome back to for this evening between LAN Dodgers for the CIS qualifier for Katowice 2019. You're joined by myself, Jevons, and my co-caster George. How you doing, George?
I'm doing pretty well.
Sorry, I didn't say your full name. George Basil J. And there we go. This will be between ATLANTS and LAN Dodgers. First map will be Overpass. That is LAN Dodgers' pick there, so should be expecting some good things from them perhaps. But there's also the fact that ATLANTS pick Train and we'll be moving on to Cache, or Cache, depending on where you're from, if it makes it that far to the third map. But anyway, without further ado, let's kick things off and dive into the pistol round. It is just going to be a little bit of a game of cat and mouse there. Zordev there does get a kill on to Ramzik. He's going to commit to pushing just outside toilets in the lower park there.
We've seen that massive fallback all the way back onto A site. They don't want to contest anything near bathrooms after leaving those players. And now it's going to be a rotate very quickly. Players push down. Travis is going to pick up 3 kills. That's great from him. Essentially held that site all by himself and walked out 1, 2, 3. Like it was absolutely nothing for him. And that's going to be the first pistol round going the way of ATLANTS.
Yep, very, very decisive kills from the man, from Travis. Sorry, Travis 19k there. And he's invested. He has decided to go for the FAMAS. Lots of utility and stuff to back that up as well. So on the other side, LAN Dodgers, they have that $1,900 bonus, but gotta save every last dollar you do of that. Well then, speaking of bank, Polt just made a massive bank there.
Definitely. MP9 money is going to be coming through in a big way. I'm sitting on $5,900.
Yeah, and this is the time he might want to upgrade. I mean, you see those AKs coming out from LAN Dodgers there. That's precisely the situation they were waiting for, was the third round where they could invest like this. But we will see no such thing. The MP9 and the MP5 will see another round.
Yeah, like you said, we've got full AKs, full armor on the side of LAN Dodgers at the moment.
Ooh, that Molotov coming in does nip Polt a little bit there. That's Mazik there was standing on top of his head, so he was fine. He had no concern about the Molotov.
Ramzik and his teammate walking into connector now. They've got 2 players to contest with if they do decide to walk anywhere. First one that challenge is going to be Kamikaze. Polt's going to get seen as well. MP5's going to Polt's going to grab one. The Zerky's going to grab the trade, and he's going to pick up Polt as well. Travis will push in and just walk straight into his gun. He's picked up 3 kills in connector like it was absolutely nothing. Easily taking essentially solo control of connector, and he's still got 1 player to contest with. Slezika is going to go down. Is going to pick up a kill, sorry. Zortev for a kill of his own with that AWP. And he's going to pick up another one. That Spay's going down to that AWP as well. Now it's just a 1v2. They've managed to turn this around, even with such a great play from Tzerky.
That's it. Jimka has to make some serious ground here. 25 seconds left, and considering this, that is one of the follies of not having much time to move on to a side, is that you just cannot check every single corner along the way there. It will result in only one of their players, Dirtsky, getting kills in that round, but 3. He gets 3 with the AK, and he did a lot of work there. Unfortunately, the follow-up just wasn't enough to secure the rest of that round.
Yeah, so now we see their pistols coming out. Got a couple CZs, upgraded pistols. Should be able to get something done if they're in close quarters, but ATLANTS surely know that. As Polt will pick up 1, but he's going to get traded. We've got an AWP to contest with on long. It's Zortev watching it. They know where they are. playing from so far away, those pistols are going to suck to use.
And with both teams being down to 4 players each, there's still 1:10 left. So really, this is still in the hands of the T side there. Even though the equipment, the armor, and the pistols being used there isn't super great, as long as they can get perhaps one entry frag here, that'll be enough to allow them to quickly follow it up with another. At least get a bomb plant. Still an eco.
Well, they have no one on the B site to properly contest them. They've only got the Evan and one other player who's going to actually pick up a kill with a nade. He gets taken down himself, but that's before Zortev picks up someone with the orb. LAN dodges. Wow, that was a Kobe of a nade. That was perfect. Exploded at the perfect. And it's going to help secure that round for ATLANTS. It's 4-0 now, as LAN Dodge is going to be able to have their second buy round, bringing out the AWP this time to hopefully contest Zortev, who's been a pretty powerful beast so far.
I just love that. You could see the nade arching in, just forming almost like a rainbow. Does remove the T player there completely, but that was last round. This is this one. They have LAN dodges. That is the buy-in for it. They have the weaponry. They've actually lost Dursky, who was one of their heavy hitters, but Travis goes down from a rather cheeky boost. And Lazika takes his spot. Things have still slowed down considerably. Again, these early picks don't necessarily have to be the signal to just burst onto a site like that, especially when you have this much time. You can make your opponent sweat a little bit, make them think about where you want to commit. In fact, you can see this. Lazika there is very, very aware of that boost happening again. Doesn't want to fall victim to it himself. So this is effectively where the mind games come.
Yeah, both teams playing very slowly and non-aggressive at the moment. As T-side is trying to figure out what they want to do. Jim Q and Polt are going to have an altercation on long, and Jim Q's going to be the one to come out on top. And now T-side have got their advantage secured for now. Both AWPs still in play. LAN dodgers are going to be walking out onto the site now. They've got 2 players watching. Wow, okay, Spaze is going to take down one of them. Take down both of them, actually, not before JMQ goes down. Now it's just on Zortev with the AWP, and he gets taken down pretty much instantly after the bombs planted by Ramzik with the AWP of his own. So, first round down the way of LAN dodgers.
Well, that's it. LAN dodgers will be able to try and build up some kind of momentum here, and interestingly, you can see that ATLANTS aren't able to bring all of the rifles back. They do take the hit to get a couple of umps on there, but the utility provided by that could be a lot more valuable in the long run. Get into the cerebral side of it. In fact, Mazik there basically doesn't need a rifle, it seems, to take a duel with Jimko, who has now left us. So Otef may have been blind, but Ramzik isn't able to get the peek onto him instead. That's it. LAN dodgers, a lot of their work from the previous round is still being undone here.
So the challenges are still coming out on bathroom, but Dezerki's still going to pick up Polt after those shots are fired. He's going to come out on top. He's got other players to contend with. This is a 2v4, but CT side is split right now between sides. So if LAN dodgers are able to join up and put together a cohesive push, they could definitely take at least a site and get the bomb down. As we do see Archero with the AWP slowly peeking, trying to catch a player out of position, but they're not giving him anything to look at.
Well, they will see the gun poking out from that wall, though, and that's exactly why the wallbang just... At this point, they've got one kill. They've got almost another. Zortev actually taken quite a bit of a hit there. But it's really the CTs that are rotating in that are going to be the absolute danger for land dodgers. Full health. And with that diffuse kit on Zortev there, even if he goes down, that'll be close by. Ooh, Archer though. What a position to hold. That's it. They need to do this. I think they need to do it, or else.
Slavic has got it. Oh, he doesn't have a kit. He doesn't have a kit.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Oh, that is a tragic tale indeed.
You can definitely see what they were trying to do there, but yeah, they got the one kill. It definitely was a big play from them, but maybe rotating 2 players wasn't the best decision, and they weren't able to stop that diffuse going through. So ATLANTS 5-1 now. Landlord just losing that round, losing the advantage, but they've still got that AUG. Both teams having their AUG, and an AUG is brought out again, this time by Scamzik.
I think it's Kamazik. I've also been, yeah, my personally my dyslexic eyes are having a bit of trouble with it, but yep. So Kamazik there has the AUG again. We were talking about this earlier in the day. If you saw the Oceanic Qualifiers, and that is that these rifles that typically weren't in heavy use, the AUG and the the SG, they're now coming into play more and more. That's
look at the spot by Travis. Sorry to interrupt you. He's playing very cheeky, right? Oh, he doesn't get anything with it. He just surprises, and only 1 kill will come of that. That was brilliant from him, but he isn't able to capitalize properly because that inaccuracy of sitting on that slope would have been essentially nullifying, because he wouldn't get any accuracy even after he lands. The reset's still going to be there. And he started shooting before he even came down, so his accuracy would have been all over the place, and his teammate was unable to properly capitalize. Anyway, Archer on the retake takes down both players, seeing it behind Polt, and Zortev doesn't flick quite fast enough to stop his death from coming. But yeah, brilliant play. It just didn't pay off as much as it probably should have.
If you take a look at this ATLANTS team now, because they haven't had nearly as many convincing victories as they would have liked, a lot of their economy is down. We've seen Travis drop out momentarily, so the pause that you're seeing at the moment is indeed a technical one. So whatever's happening should hopefully be resolved soon. The other side of this equation, you'll have land dodgers. Again, this is their map pick, so they don't want to let this one get out of control whatsoever. And being able to win that round somewhat convincingly and carry a lot of stuff forward, equipment, rifles, all that kind of good stuff, they are able to invest heavily here. So I think if this is the round for land dodgers to basically steamroll ATLANTS and at least get their 3rd round on the board, this will be the one.
The buy is really good for land dodgers right now. Full AKs, they've got the 1M4, full armor, full utility. It's going to be a very tough nut for ATLANTS to crack, especially because their economy is so weak. Land dodgers are going to have a very chance of just steamrolling straight through whatever defense ATLANTS manages to conjure up. So we just wait for the 5th ATLANTS player to rejoin the game.
Yep, but you can already see a bit of what ATLANTS is really going for here, and there we go. So Travis will be back in, and the rest of his team have just gone for Desert Eagles here. So I'd be a little bit surprised if we didn't see the same from himself, unless he is saving for something further down the line. This does speak towards what ATLANTS' game plan for this is going to be. Overpass with a map which has so many long angles to watch. The Desert Eagle can be a good choice here. So they want to work to whatever strengths they can get from it. However,
you've got that 3-player stack on B as well. What is this boost going on? Oh, that is very, very clever from them. Unfortunately, the entirety of Land Dodgers has gone through the same route, so they aren't going to pick up anything. But if a Land Dodgers player decides to pick this angle, it's going to be a very unfortunate situation from them. That nade is fat, though. That does so much damage. 2 players drop below 50 health and 1 on 16. Another nade would finish off 3 players on 1. Imagine if a player were to do that. But it looks like they just want to go for some form of exit frag, and if they do manage to come around this corner, it will be a very, very powerful firing squad that they encounter. But it doesn't look like Land Dodgers are going to have any of that as they rotate out to protect themselves. They are going to pitch up Archer. 3 Deagles sounding off. Most of them should die here. Oh, they're on 50 health. Oh, no, never mind.
Oh, well. Oh, what is that? That's
out of no.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of a end there, but I'm not entirely certain why that happened. I mean, I don't know if they're actually spotted in the nook there where they're setting up the stack, but the grenade could have just been circumstantial there, or coincidental would be a better word for it, in that they wanted to just try and account for it. They didn't actually know who was in there, but after it went off, the CTs could have rushed out, but I think it would have been a very quick funeral. And Holt gets fully blinded by the pop flash. As a result, he tries to fall back, but it is too late. Archer has already set him in his sights. With that being said, ATLANTS here, they're not necessarily looking for too much glory. They really just want a few kills, perhaps a bit of equipment. The real game, the real fight will be the next round.
Yeah, very weak buy right now from the CT side, as Land Dodgers are finally looking to make their play onto the beast. Should be able to just walk straight in, as ATLANTS are going to get their rotates going, trying to clean up any players trying to play for rotate frags, but they aren't going to run into anyone as they're trying to challenge these AKs and connect in. Shots going back and forth. 1 kill finally. It's Ramzik with the AWP as Archer is pushed up forward, picks up 2, does get traded. That's a good kill from Zortev, and it's just him left alive. Last play of ATLANTS. He's got Jimka to contest, but he will come out on top of that, of course, with the AK-47. Now the gun round for ATLANTS. Finally another gun round. So they have the AWP, they have the AWP. It's a strong buy, definitely.
And this is the real end goal for ATLANTS of that last round. And they've foregone the helmets, but again, when you're going up against AKs, a helmet is not really going to do too much anyways. So not necessarily the most critical or mandatory purchase. But again, Land Dodgers have been... They like to form almost conga lines when they go to these sites. They like to basically all go the same route. It has a bit of a mixed... There are mixed benefits to it. One, you know that if you're able to get through there, all corners are checked. It's a bit safe there. Alternative is that depending on the site, if you're opting to avoid one way, a CT player might decide that they want to sit in there, and ooh, Zortev and Ramzik there will almost see each other, but it might be Jimka who faces the Wrath. And, oh, Zortev getting way more than he should.
Oh,
way more.
Zortev.
He's 3. But he's finally shut down by Dirtsky.
There is no reason that Zortev should have been that successful. Challenges not really the smartest ones to be taken. Slezak is still holding onto the site. Even after the great players from Zortev, it's still a 2v1. Dirtsky's got the utility to push onto the site. He's got the gun, but doesn't have the health. Pushing against 2 EM4s, it won't take too much to put him down. And the bomb's right there. They will hear that when he tries to plant it. Has got a little bit of a sneaky position here, but Slezak spots him out. Travis spots him out, and Slezak is able to finish off that kill, and that gets a round going the way of ATLANTS. second rifle round, and they managed to take it down pretty.
Yep, that was needed, but the position ATLANTS is in, it's still a bit weak. Again, this is the attrition that you'll see in a lot of these games where CTs can't win these rounds convincingly. Eventually, they'll just be torn down over time. They'll not be able to maintain strong buys. That grenade coming in might be able to do some damage. Doesn't. Sails right over their heads.
This is interesting. ATLANTS have left no one in and sent both their A-site players up long. Even though it's not going to pay off, that's a very curious play to make because players could leave through connector and walk straight to A-site, and that might just happen here, provided no one rotates when land dodgers don't want them to. Both players still sitting on long. Land dodgers, the smoke's lit out, and now they know players are going to be pushing in through bathroom, but whether or not the rotate comes through back to the A site is a whole nother question.
Not feeling like they've gotten too much from prodding A side defense. Gonna move back into water here. They'll set up utility. They'll look to move in. They are leaving this a bit late. It's 35 seconds left. Any delays here can be fatal for this round. One smoke goes down. It is just a hold off quickly there. Polt wanting to remain relevant on this site there. Jumps down from heaven. Lutski gets one kick. 10 seconds left thereabouts. If the bomb plant can be delayed, it will be.
Slezika! Wow, that was great from him, picking up 3 on the site when he really, honestly shouldn't have. They did play a lot of players on the site, ATLANTS, but it paid off because I don't think they were expecting Slezika to still be there after taking down so many players, and he's obviously able to pick up a very rewarding amount of kills as a result. So ATLANTS 7-4 now. And pistol round for the land dodgers.
Well, that's exactly it. Knowing that they were going to have to desperately push onto the B bomb site there, Ezekiel was able to effectively just stand there and hold that position, monster there, and when the time came, he didn't even have to survive. He literally just had to delay the bomb plant, and that was it. The round was more than likely theirs. Just the fact that he got so many extra kills is really just a bonus, and he's going to be feeling pretty good about that.
I mean, how could you not? And I mean, I might even see a repeat of that. No armor, just pistols on the T side.
Ooh, Zotef. Are you going to be able to get out of this one? Well, no. You actually get killed by Dutsky on the other side there, just standing outside the toilet. So, interesting pick from him. But the AWP is recovered. Zortev reunited with his trusty AWP friend there. He's been doing a lot of work with it. In fact, that's one of the main reasons that you see him at the top of the scoreboard. Entire server, 17 kills to 7 deaths. It's a very wise investment bringing that rifle back in almost any case, even more so when you have a player like him doing such good work with it.
Full AK buy for land dodgers now. They've got the AWP to contest against, and they don't have much of a. But like you said, they're going to do the conga line in through monster, picking up 2 kills. Archer doing well there. Does get taken. Space does get taken down by Ramzik, but Ramzik's going to get the bomb down. He will pick up 2 more kills actually. Just sneaking onto barrels there. 2v1. Polk sitting up in heaven. He's got full health and good utility. Can't say the same about land dodgers.
Well, it's this grenade that I want to see here. I don't think with the fact that Polt isn't able to see anyone just yet, he doesn't have a smoke to cover any kind of sneaky ninja defuse. It's not looking too great for him, and you'll see him pop back here. He's keeping view on things just for the sake of a exit frag, but that's really it. Not much more that can be done. If he had somehow managed to spot the position of perhaps Jimka and threw the grenade, could have made that a much more workable situation. But in this case, given the fact that not everybody is sitting pretty money-wise on the CT side, I think he made a very sensible decision there by falling.
AKs again for land dodges. FAMAS is out in return for ATLANTS. Good utility once again. So see what land dodges do. It looks like they want to go for the same conga line. The Molotov's going to interrupt that again. Ramzik the only one to take any sort of damage, so it did stall that rush. Land dodgers should be able to change up their strategy and figure out something else.
Oh, this boost, though, when it comes in... Oh, it's been spotted, though, and they're going to try and spam through that. Kamazik not able to score even any damage there, really. Maybe just a teensy bit. He cops so much in return, though. Archer takes out Lazika. That's it. This bomb site could be open for business soon. They'll know who Travis is now, thanks to those shots. If the defense is strong, if they can hold him back, they might defend the site, but that is it. There is a very dire situation. Bomb's been dropped, though. 45 seconds, and a considerable amount of utility left. We should see Ramzik be able to smoke this player off and perhaps get the bomb plant.
No, you don't. He just walks straight onto the sight line to get headshot straight away. Now, no one's on site from the side of land dodgers. 3 players up. Archer is actually going to have a bit of a flank going on.
Oh, Polt's getting so much done from heaven. He's now gone. Killed off by Archer there. It's now Zortev. He only needs to delay this bomb plant, and he has done just that. Oh, and the grenade's going to come in.
Oh, so good from Zortev. They're both actually, well, the CT side, Polk doing so much work from heaven. The challenges being made in the right ways, pushing in the right ways. That predictive nade absolutely nailing the Archer there. Man, that was great plays from ATLANTS.
Yeah, Zortev and Polt especially. I mean, Polt could have been nullified, again, just with that smoke, but we didn't see it, and that's going to be a bit of a sore spot, I think, for land dodgers. But being said, we'll see ourselves in the last round of this first half, and land dodgers have force up with whatever they can. That means an AK, a Galil, 2 Desert Eagles, and a CZ. It's full armor, but little utility backing it up.
Yeah, it's such a weak buy from land dodgers up against a relatively strong one from the side of ATLANTS. He sees someone's head over that gap. That was a nasty angle. I didn't even know it was possible.
Well, we saw it before. Travis again was taken out there, I believe, or he picked up the position after. But yeah, that's very cheeky indeed. And what we can see here, that land dodgers gotten the first kill. They know things are going to slow down a little bit. And they've divided this into a 2-2 setup here, 2A, 2B. At least that would be the thinking. How they approach this will be interesting. Zortev picking an off angle, one that he hasn't held this game so far. If he can quickly stop this approach, which he will, he gets 1. Doesn't get 2, though. But with 20 seconds left to go, things are very difficult, and Lazika's able to follow it up. That's it. Land dodgers, they have a chance. They need to get this bomb planted now. There's no other way. And Kamazik has 1 chance, but doesn't succeed. ATLANTS still getting a good half for themselves. Land dodgers, this being their map pick, they need to bring it back together, and the CT side might be the place to do it. Just like to take a moment to thank the sponsors for this event. Intel, of course, being one of the main ones, being the Intel Extreme Masters Series. Vodafone is another ESL, graciously hosting lot of this. Predator Gaming as well, and HyperX. So big shout out and thanks to those brands and hosts for giving us the excellent CS that you're seeing today. Now, this has been a bit of a wild ride today, casting and covering the Oceania qualifiers, and now I get a chance to look at the CIS region as well. I've been enjoying it as much as myself. And as we duck into the second half here, you are joined by myself, Jevons, and my co-caster, George Basil J. So let's get stuck into it and see if LAN Dodgers can bring this one back in the second half.
Pistol round's going to be coming out. See if LAN Dodgers are going to be victorious. ATLANTS right now, not doing too much, but just holding their sights like they should be. LAN Dodgers doing the conga line up long as well. They really do just stick together like glue. And it works, honestly, in a lot of ways. So now we do have a bit of a separation into connector. Never mind, they reconnected the conga line. We're back on track, and it looks like they want to get a push going to A now. And that they will do. They have 2 players challenging them from heaven. They've actually got 4 players on the B site to contest with. That's going to be very difficult to get through, especially with Space picking up that first kill really early on. The bomb is going to go down, but Space is going to get aggressive almost instantly after the bomb finally does go down. JMQ's going to pick up one for himself. Kazik stuck at the back of the map. He gets 1 pick, but he's got 2 players to contest with. In water. Does get taken down, and it's just all left to Pult right now. All he has to do is stop that plant. All of them are so low, but Ramzik's going to nail the headshot on him. It'll be his chances dashed. 7-9 now. LAN Dodgers winning that pistol round.
And with that, LAN Dodgers get themselves the lifeline they need to try and continue. Basically build up the momentum they need to try and take out the second half. ATLANTS, on the other hand, they got a lot from that. They severely weakened one of the 2 remaining CTs there, and that, of course, means that they got the bomb plant and 3 kills. We were able to see such a buy from them so soon. If this is found out, this could completely change LAN Dodgers' approach whatsoever, and Ramzik will be the first victim of the forced buy. Surprise buy, if you will, sort of scoring himself that kill. And ATLANTS don't necessarily want to perhaps run into a bit of a killing field themselves, especially considering the fact that they have invested so much into this round. But with that, they'll slowly start working on this upper park area now, long A, and Dirtsky has his eyes on behind there because they don't have eyes necessarily on the toilets too much. They don't know if they've been wrapped around or not. That gives them a few extra angles to really look for. The fact that we have a trade out coming from Dirtsky is something good. They've dropped the bomb as well. Dirtsky, a player that we've seen good performances from in this first half. Because of that, well, if you line up for Pult, Pult will mow you down. There's that too. But Spaze is now the one who has to bring this situation back. He doesn't know where they've run with the bomb, though. He figures it will be B-site.
It's a hard call to make, but it's a call he's made nonetheless. And now ATLANTS, unfortunately, are going to be taking full A control, and it's on him to win a 1v2 or save the rifle. Looks like he wants to try out his luck. Pip takes down Pult really easily through the smoke, and he's just got 1 more to deal with. He's getting really good intel on where Suzuki might be.
Well, Lazika has actually gone around to the back there. That's excellent repositioning from him. And that's it. Space is just, he doesn't know where to go with this. He's got to try and force the defuse. Oh, and Lazika's going to sit on there with knife as well. Space has to go for this. And that'll be it. Lazika with the knife. And there's a classy way to finish off that round. Again, just very level-headed play from Lazika, just being able to walk around, perhaps hearing his heart in his ears almost. But he'll creep into the smoke that was graciously provided by CT side, by LAN Dodgers, just sit there waiting with the knife, and it works out pretty well for him.
Yeah, that money bonus is going to be something to be true. As we've got the full AK buy for ATLANTS, some pistols on the side of land dodges, and bugger all utility. They've got 3. It's a defense, but it's not much of one. So it's 7-10. Land dodges need to get a round. They've got such a powerful enemy to contest with in terms of their equipment. It's going to be a difficult fight to win.
It will be. They've already been brought down to a position they didn't necessarily want to be in. That is a 3-round deficit, second half, on their map pick. And Dodgers Archer specifically will take a lot of damage. He almost takes out Lazika. That is something for them. But with so little firepower presence on the rest of this lineup, don't know if Land Dodgers are going to be able to follow it up with anything significant. The real tragedy of that being that they could have scored themselves an AK. But Ramzik doesn't care about anything I just said. He takes Zortev said straight off there, also doing so much damage.
Wow, that is crazy. What just happened?
I don't know. I think I'd like my word sandwich with ketchup, please. That's.
I'm in absolute disbelief as to what just happened. That was honestly simply incredible.
Yep.
Wow.
So Travis, he has to get these kills, but they're just dancing around him. They don't need to give anything to him. And that's it. Those spades will give him a few CZ bullets there, and he gets himself an AK for his troubles. So that's that was a interesting conclusion to that round. I think yeah, Ramzik. My God, that was insane work with the Desert Eagle there, and it's really paid off. Your team's got to be incredibly happy with you.
It's just what happens when the players with the equipment advantage get a little bit cocky, challenging pistols. A Deagle can one hit in the head, just like an AK. In that respect, it's the exact same as an AK. But when you do it that often, he's going to hit a shot eventually, especially when there's so many of you. But I did not expect that shot to be a collateral, taking down 2 players in one hit, and then his teammates were able to follow up with the rest of the kills. Just simply excellent play coming out of there, and that was definitely a round changer. See if they can carry on this moment. 8-10 now. Rams are going to pick up 2 at bathroom. It's definitely a good start. Pistols are out, so it's not too much to worry about. But, I mean, we saw how much impact a Deagle can have in the last round.
That we did, and there's 3 of them on ATLANTS. But without that armor, without any utility, they're effectively wet paper, ready to get torn through. But Ramzik, well, Ramzik will die, unfortunately, like the rest of his team, and that is the end of that eco round. Land Dodgers, they're bringing this back. Now they'll have to do it against a more competitive buy from their opponents.
I've seen such a back and forth map so far. 9-10 now. Wow. Yeah, I really hope this trend continues, because this is some great CS that we're seeing. Both teams being so equally matched with one another. As we've got a gun round coming out now, the utility's there for Land Dodgers. Not so much for ATLANTS, who probably arguably need it more than ATLANTS does, but they've got the AKs nonetheless. MAC-10 can still be deadly in the right situations. We'll see what they can manage to accomplish. They're quite spread out. This is different. They're usually quite close with each other, but I mean, Zortev picking up a Galil kill on long there. Is they're gonna rejoin one another. See if they can get a cohesive push going.
This will be the time to do it. I mean, a minute left, but they are very far away from these sites. Kill into Archer will kick things off here, but they don't necessarily want to commit to this. They don't have to either, really. I mean, with so much time left, a kill like that can sometimes basically light a fire under the CT side. Might push them onto a site where they don't have to go there. But that being said, with things having calmed down a little bit, the call has been made. 30 odd seconds left to go. The push will come onto this A site. Travis and Zortev getting kills much needed to make this work. And with Jimka sitting well away from the A site and with a lot to lose, decides he doesn't want to lose it. He will just opt for a bit of a save. But if somebody wants to come to him, it seems like he's ready for it.
We have this back and forth continuing again. Now Landor losing this round at ATLANTS, making it 9-11. And we'll be able to hopefully bolster up their equipment a little bit more than what it was at the start of this round.
He will
Sneaky.
become Spider-Man for a moment. Jumps off. That is a sneaky spot. So take note, if you don't know where to hide when you're saving on overpass, that would be a very good position to pick.
Warp now for Ramsik on the CT side. No warp to challenge this on the side of ATLANTS.
At this point, I don't know if they necessarily have to. I mean, if they're not wanting to go towards long there, perhaps purely for the lack of an op there, but with the rifles, they still could have very well gone for it. The approach from this connector onto the site there does net Travis 1 kill. Makes these CTs very conservative. You'll actually see that Ramsik and Archer have fallen back. In fact, Archer wants to drop down onto B, perhaps help out his teammates where possible. This boost, if it comes in, could be deadly. Land Dodgers was certainly a massive fan of it. I don't know if we'll see it from ATLANTS, but they're going to have to move in now. Lest they want their teammates' death to count for nothing. Still sitting up outside of B.
It's definitely going to be a B push. The bombs being brought over. They've got the smokes and the Molotovs to do so. Zerki's going to pick up 1. Travis is going to pick up 2, which he should not have been able to do. But now that's going to give control of the site to ATLANTS. But Space doesn't care. He just walks straight onto the site and jumps up and shoots a bomb player in the face. He might even pick up another. No, he picks up, takes down Polk to 4 HP. Just Ramsik left with his warp and USP. One player's so hurt though, he picks him up. Might be able to pick up Travis with a lucky USP headshot. No, not able to get it done.
Nope. And yeah, that's amazing. 4 kills from Travis. They're really securing the approach onto the B site and making life absolute hell. Props to Space. He definitely would have definitely turned the dial up on the pressure machine for ATLANTS there by hopping over and denying the bomb plant, but unfortunately, without being able to stay alive on the site there, he couldn't waste any more of their time. But considering this, Land Dodgers are in a position they've wanted to forget about on this map for quite a while, and that is being on an eco. Will opt to congregate more so on this B site, and with the CZs there, if they can prompt a bit of an approach from this. Oh my god! Dirtsky. 2 very... And Jimka wants to join in on the fun. He'll get another one. It's a 2 versus 4 situation. I mean, again, these remaining 4 CTs, they're on an eco buy. They have pistols, no armor. And ATLANTS, more specifically Polt and Zortev, they have the rifles, they have the power. But they can get flanked really badly. This has forced what you see, a very timid approach onto the B-bomb site.
So they've got control now, but the challenges are definitely available. Jersky's going to be peeking in through heaven. He won't actually see them because they've rotated so far through. They might be able to go through for something sneaky onto A if they're fast enough. Only 30 seconds left, so they're going to have to start running and give away their position. And at some point, they've managed to sneak through the entirety of B site. And now Durski's going to be very surprised if players manage to sneak up onto him. Actually, he's expecting it by the looks of it, expecting that they've walked all the way through, especially because no one's heard a bomb plant. He's going up to look at A. He's caught a whiff of something, surely. The timing on those peaks, though, he does manage to spot them just at the end, but just about missed them
he's
once
just won
again.
Even without Ramsey coming in from the side there, they had already won that. The fact that they could stop the bomb plant there at 5 seconds is yeah, that's some really good work from Landers. But considering that, we will see the tables turned. ATLANTS, it'll be their turn to go on to half ego, half by there. We've got a couple rifles, some Desert Eagles, and a little bit of damage onto Kamazik there. He drops down into lower tunnels, and a lot of damage onto Zortev as he drops into the side of Ramzik.
That AWP coming into play so strong on the CT side near A side. So it's a one-man advantage for land dodgers now, and they have the rest of the advantages available through their equipment. So much stronger than ATLANTS by. Just the one AK and then a Galil that are the real dangers, unless we see an amazing Deagle play once again. But hopefully land dodgers aren't able to let something like that happen again. So challenges might come out here in bathroom. Archer is just standing in the middle in the open right now. They're looking right at each other through the smoke. Who's going to spot who first? Well, Slesk is just going to nail Archer in the head. It doesn't matter who has the better weapon. Slesk is going to get a great shot and open up bathrooms for his team as they are rotating the bomb to that.
With this, Ramzik now has an interesting position. He's seen the bomb drop. He's going to try and bait out some more of these Ts. He gets flanked by Polt, but Polt. Oh no. Oh no, indeed. I'm assuming that has...
We are having technical difficulties with our coverage of the game. Hopefully we'll be able to bring back some form of coverage.
Well, at this point,
12-9.
yeah, at that point it was 12-9. Actually, no, it was 12-10, I believe. Yeah, I'm going to take a quick break. We'll hopefully be back onto this one soon. All right, stay tuned. Thank you. Are we off? Okay. Alrighty, server should be back up again. We are just going to dive back into this and continue the action, so we do apologize for the technical delays. Once we are able to do this, then hopefully the fun can continue. Until then, it is a matter of seeing what on earth has happened here. I'm just waiting to get the server back myself. We have 12-12 is the score at the moment. One terrorist has died, and 2 have died. It's now a 2 versus something. I'm sorry, I am just 2 versus 3 situation. It's down to a 1 versus 1, I believe. All right, 12-13 for the moment. I believe that would have been Land Dodgers taking the lead. Sorry, taking the lead. ATLANTS take the lead in this case, 13-12. I just got to sort some stuff out on my side, folks. I will be quiet for the next few moments whilst we...
So I've got my screen back up now. It's
I do too.
12-13 to ATLANTS as one CT player has died. We have a sneaky boost from Dursky and Spays. 3 players on that B side for the CT side. Challenges are going to come out, but no kills will be achieved by either side. Or on Zortef, as all the smokes and all the nades and all the mollies that you can imagine go out onto the B site, but the push isn't quite there, delayed by the smoke. Travis will get boosted, trying to get a good angle, but nothing's been shown to him just yet. And ATLANTS really are trying to get onto the site, but nothing's been given to them. But Travis nails a nice shot onto Space, gets another one onto Jim QA, and then Kamikaze is going to finish off another kill, get the bomb down for the T side. Archer is the last one left with his FAMAS.
Yep, the long play for Archer there, going all the way through long A into Parker Playground there. Hasn't worked out, but with some weaponry being achieved, he'll actually be able to take this AWP into the next round if this doesn't happen. But it did. Lazika there ending Archer's hopes of taking the AWP anywhere further. That's it. ATLANTS, they're starting to bring this one back themselves. They've basically 1 round away from getting map points. This is, just as a reminder, first map of our best of 3 series between these 2 teams. If this goes the way of ATLANTS, then that will be them taking Land Dodgers pick away. We'll be moving on to Train. If, however, Land Dodgers can pick this one up, and we don't see them pick up the next one, our third map will be Cache.
So see the rush coming through from Land Dodgers. They do pick up a Flash Travis trying to get away. It's an AK acquired for Archer, as the rest of ATLANTS are going to be rushing towards the A site. They know that it's abandoned by the CT side. They get the smokes and the nades down. Haven't probably secured it, but Kamikaze doesn't care about that. And he does get traded, but so does JMQ himself. Now it's a 3v3. Control slowly being taken by the T side. Bomb's going to go down as Archer needs to get a play down with that AK. Dursky's going to go down as well. Pulp just peppering some players. Archer's finally going to challenge him along, but he gets flashed at the worst time. Doesn't quite get spotted out by Pulp, so he isn't able to take that fight. But just as I say that, Pulp picks up both players, making this 12-15 map point for ATLANTS.
That is it. ATLANTS managed to reach map point here. This was precisely the thing that Land Dodgers didn't want to happen. It means they have to win these next 3 rounds in a row, even if they just want to play through to overtime. So it is a potentially exhausting slog ahead of them, but it could be much worse. They have rifles, they have a bit of armor, they have utility as well. Harp on about it a lot here, but it can make the difference in rounds, especially ones as crucial as the one that you're seeing here. Kamikaze gets an initial kill there. Space is able to trade out, but Kamikaze follows it up with another kill onto Space, and that is it. It is an absolute brawl back and forth, but Dursky does manage to bring some order to this for the CT side. But Pulp
getting a
throws
nice
it out the window.
Easy. Well, another kill. Dursky looking the wrong way gets picked up as well. And now it's just Archer versus 2 players. He's got to get a lot done. He picks up 1, but Pulp manages to close out the kill. And that is the first map going the way of ATLANTS. Kind of dominant towards the end there, but definitely earned it.
Yeah, for sure. That is a potentially bad sign for Land Dodgers. They'll now have to take train off of ATLANTS. And all things considered, look at our two teams here. ATLANTS, they don't typically lose that map super often there. So it's going to be this could be the start of Land Dodgers' troubles, but we have a lot of experienced players on that Land Dodgers side, so they could be able to keep it together and bring this to a third map. But in the meantime, go to a break, and we should be ducking back into train very shortly.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to IEM Katowice CIS Closed Minor Qualifiers. This is going to be for the CSGO event in 2019. Tonight you'll be watching LAN Dodgers and ATLANTS on their second map, ATLANTS taking the front. Tonight I am joined by Bimmy Esport.
Hey, how's it going?
And you can follow us on Twitter on screen right now, GBJ Tweets and Bimmy Esport. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors for allowing tonight to happen. Intel, ESL, Vodafone, Predator, and HyperX. So just waiting for players to get in these servers. And once they get in, we'll be able to watch some great CS.
Yeah, absolutely. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you? I know this is your first match of the day.
Well, yeah, for this region. Earlier, I was doing for Oceania as well. I got to see Order versus Greyhound. That was really fun, especially on new. So I just hopped off, excuse me, and then hopped back on, and now I'm just ready to cast some more CS. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. Train is personally one of my favorite maps, just because ladder is such an interesting position, and it kind of is a hit or miss. It either gets you absolutely destroyed on CT, or on CT side, you can just like pull off a triple kill and just ruin the T's day.
It's definitely a hit or miss spot. It's, yeah, really inconsistent, and what plays come out of it. If you play the game yourself and you play in heaven, a lot of the time you just get absolutely railed. But pro players, they seem to manage to play a lot better than I can, obviously, and they make things happen from that spot. It's so powerful because you've got oversight over the entirety of the site, so there's not really much that the T's can do to avoid your sight lines and still make progress on the spot. Yeah, Train definitely leads to some interesting plays and obviously some great CS, like you said, and hopefully that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, muscle memory is nuts. I absolutely admire players that are able to just start developing these muscle memories and just making sure to wobble and everything. It's just very, very impressive. So we will see how this goes down. We are just waiting for our last player. But are you who? So what do you are you familiar with any of the players, or is this some of them are your first time seeing them?
All of these players, my first time seeing them, but like they're obviously incredibly skilled players. There's definitely some standouts, like Polt has been making some great plays. Slezak has been really good at with the Deagle so far. On the side of ATLANTS, they're all very well-rounded players. They play really well together, and that cohesiveness leads them to a lot of victories, like we saw on the last map. So we are going to see the knife round, players killing themselves to avoid the trouble that it causes. Players going to be getting into the start of this match very shortly now. See what goes down.
See how this goes down. Indeed, pistol round is about to happen soon. We do have all players in lobby, so I'm very, very excited to see what will happen. And here we go. It's about to be the pistol round. It's on Train. Who do we think is going to take it? Is it going to be the CTs or the Ts?
For me, I want to say the T's because even though there's a lot of long sight lines on CT and the USP is obviously great at range, you get up in people's faces very often because it's so easy to surprise enemies from different routes and not being spotted. Like if you weave through the trains in a certain way, take a route that they're not watching, you can get up in their face and just nail them with the Glock, and it definitely makes for some fun times. There's actually only one player really sitting on B site right now, and he's holding all the way back. JMQ's actually going to fall back. He was the only other player that was close to the bomb. So now ATLANTS looking like they want to come down onto this A site, being very quiet, not letting anyone know what is going on. JMQ's going to be watching Upper from all the way back. He's got the USP, like I said, great at range. The nades are coming out. The push is coming.
And there it is. Ramzik thinks that they're just going to pop through low ground, but not to be the case. But they're still going through, and they're able to trade back and forth. But this is looking still pretty strong for the T's. going through the high ground. Very smart of them, and be able to psych them out, play the mind games with the smoke. Very useful. And it looks like they pretty much secured this site. And like you said, and predicted the T's using excellent maneuvering skills and use of utility to go ahead and just take that first pistol round.
Yeah, I mean, even though B site some really long sight lines, it didn't matter because they just weaved in between the trains, got right up in the face of the CTs, and took a 3-on-3 gunfight and came out very easily because the Glock is just that superior in close quarters. Now we see the pistols coming out for land dodges. They've got the one upgraded, that's a P250, I believe, and then ATLANTS has double Mac 10, a little 2 AKs, and a little bit of utility. This time, looking to go for a more spread out sort of formation. Archer's going to get naded down to 12 health. Speaking of nades, Spaze will go down to a nade himself. And actually, Travis is just going to walk onto the site and pick up 2 kills with the Mac, and Polt's going to pick up another. And Travis is going to earn himself a 3K with those Mac 10s. AK is doing absolutely nothing. It's all nades and Mac 10s now.
Well, certainly also working together with your fellow teammates. So it was very nice. It was not spread out too far. Really good stuff from Atlantis. Holding back on utility, just using it when in sight, because that kind of lineup with utility and weapons is sort of more about rushing in and trying to be aggressive against the opponents rather than trying to be tactical and maneuver and flank. And good read onto them for being able to do that. So now we're going to go ahead and see a little bit of a buy. Not too much. This is kind of an awkward economy. They do have armor, 1 kit, a bunch of M4s, and this is kind of like I would like to see maybe a little more fuller of a save or a different kind of investment. But this is, we'll see how this goes. With not a lot of utility, they are just not sitting ducks, but they do have to be very careful of how they space themselves against the T's.
That push is going to be coming through from the side of ATLANTS now. They've got the AKs. Challenge is not really going the way of them, though. Land Dodgers is going to pick up 3 kills, 2 trades going back for ATLANTS, though. But there's a Mac 10 player sitting on upper. He does manage to pick up that AK. Travis has actually made his way onto A site, but he doesn't have the bomb with him. He picks up a sneaky kill onto Ramsek and gets another one on Archer. There's nothing he could do. He just picked up 2 kills very easily. Now it's all on Dursky, sitting all the way back. Polk's on low health. He's going to pick him up. 1v1 now. Travis has an idea of where he is, too.
Wow. Okay. Well, nicely done. That was the end of that fight, and very close. That was a lot more closer than I was expecting it between Land Dodgers and Atlantis, just because of the fact of the lack of the utility. But they did manage to use the trains very, very effectively. And most impressive. And I think we're going to have a technical pause right now, as I just saw one of the players, unfortunately, DC'd on the side of Atlantis. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But looking back at just that round recently and just how narrowly close it was, just because the lineup and utility that they had was very more aggressive on the side of Atlantis. So I guess in the sense that the way that Land Dodgers played was very nicely done and very passively. It's just basically in the long run, they just got outflanked with the mobility that Atlantis had. So very good stuff. They did make it extremely close, but now I kind of want to see maybe just a save or a slight eco round just coming in from Land Dodgers when Atlantis' 5th player comes back like now. And hopefully we'll see that come to play and allow them to buy into the next round a little more properly with utility and weapons.
It's also definitely worth mentioning that Travis is on 11-0 right now.
Oh my god, I just
absolutely going. And the next highest amount of kills on this team is just 2 kills. He is carrying in a huge way right now, and we'll see that continue as he goes up against pistols. Maybe we just gave him the caster's curse. Maybe he'll go down, but it's definitely not looking like
impressive number right now for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking like Land Dodgers will be taking a round this time at least.
Ooh, Ramsey. Just very close to the enemies. Getting very aggressive toward T entrance into A spawn, or A point. Site A, excuse me. As my terminology of esports is just all over the place right now, but either way right now, they are doing Doing slightly equal round. Shouldn't be expecting too much. They're going to see if they can just take away a couple of AKs from the side of Atlantis. But it's not going to be the case, especially when they get shot down like that. Poor Jimka.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll go down, and Atlas are going to have full control of the site now. As they do need to worry about the rotations, but Pistols, CZ is probably just going to be going for some form of exit frag.
Wow.
So CZ is so good for Archer's going to get taken down by a nice headshot from Travis. And now it's all on the CZs and the Deagles. Dursky's going to pick up another kill. The shot does get landed onto Slazika, but it's not going to be enough to finish him off. Now it's just Ramzik left with the P250. He could upgrade the pistol, but I don't even know if it's worth making the noise. He's looking for one.
Can pick up the CZ at least. But I think you're absolutely right. I think at this point, you just try to see if maybe you could do some exit frags. There's not much to save onto. Good thing that they didn't invest into this round. So it's not like if you're going to actively hunt, you're not going to get punished for it. The only thing that you're going to get punished for is you lose the CZ. But they are going to hold on to that. They have 6K. They're buying into this op. Ramzik, we're going to see how they do here. And I think this is where we see either this round is going to start building back up for Land Dodgers, or we're going to see just Atlanta still on this firm hold. They have so much utility and armor. They are just pretty much loaded to the brink.
They definitely are loaded to the brink. They've got the smokes lined up to take this A site. All three smokes going out at once, Molotov going out as well, and now they're going to be pushing onto the site. Now they're going to be challenging that double up set up the Landor. The smokes are going to nullify those sight lines that they're looking for. Spade's going to get taken down on, well, he's looking at that boost, as well as Dorsey, as well as Archer, even though Archer was able to pick up a kill. But Atlants have such a dominant control of A site right now, and it's very difficult to push onto A site when the other team is so controlling of it. And now Land Dodgers is just going to have to save, making this 5-0. Not a very good opening for them.
Is there a world where you actively go hunt down this op? Because holding on to this op does definitely save them a lot of money.
Especially when they're on $0. I mean, even the M4 as well. It's definitely going to have to be something that Atlas should worry about for next round. That AWP is no joke in the right hand. As Ramzik just showed us there, nearly goes down. He's on 13 health. Will he get taken down? I don't think he will unless Ramzik pulls off something very funny. Oh, just about nails the knife. It was just half a second, not even that, from nailing the knife and getting a knife kill as well as dropping that AWP, but doesn't manage to pull it off in the end. So unfortunate, would have been great to see, but now the AWP is there for both teams, and Land Dodgers managed to pull out a strong enough buy to challenge the absolute titan of a buy that Atlants had.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with this investment. They have the armors, they have weapons, they have some utility and kits. They're going to have to rely on some of their members more than others, but at this moment, just sort of sticking together. They do have Jimka just sort of scouting around the area, just gathering information, hanging out at B, making sure nobody's going to try to do it, and then fully hold on A for the most part. And I like this a lot, and it doesn't, they're not too spread apart, but they do have enough places where they can gather information and also get a couple of just sort of beginning of the team fight frags that will allow it to make it a lot easier for Land Dodgers to try to come back from this. They do have a little bit of damage already onto them, but it's not the end of the world.
So players going to be looking to make their plays. There's a very slow game coming up. We can't really tell what Atlants are planning from their current positioning. The bomb's just rotating around. They're trying to see if they can get some sort of opening. Archer is obviously quite hurt, but there's not really anyone he should be worried about.
No idea. Well, they're certainly wanting to keep up the streak, and they're playing not passively. They're just playing it really, really safe. They're going to go into B. They're going to get already picked. There is a little bit back and forth, but it looks like Lance is still holding strong. It looks like Slaziek is going to be able to get a double kill and is going to be able to plant the bomb. They just got to be careful of Ramzik. Ramzik is very strong with the op. It looks like they are going to try to fight Jimka and drop the smoke. Not going to be able to find it, but Ramzik does go down, and that's going to be pretty much it. 6 nil at the moment. My goodness, they played it very, very safe, very, very down to the not down to the wire, but I'm starting to think maybe Land Dodgers would like a tactical pause at some point soon if this slight eco round does not work out for them. Investing into the armor, interesting.
Travis needs to be handled because, man, he is on 14-1 at the moment. He is nearly triple his the next highest in terms of kills, and he's definitely going to be looking to increase that at least one more and finally triple it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we just opposite Caster Cursed, which in the sense of like, can he go any further? Yeah, they can. Apparently, they're just going to go crazy. But right now, it looks like it's going to be Strazov as they are going, or so I don't even know how to pronounce that name. The opera on the side of ATLANTS, as they are going to go ahead and take out a nice, good amount of the team. And now Jimka's the only one remaining. Not even going for the bomb plant. They're just going to go ahead and spread them out. Stravis might be going on the hunt while there's a plant coming in from
Zortif is what I've been calling him. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I'm just going to say that it is. Feel free to tweet me and tell me it's not.
Yeah. Apologies for us English speakers. We're born to just naturally butcher names. Well, speaking of, but like on a more serious note, Zortif showing up a little bit more now as well. 8-1 is not bad at all, along with 2 assists, so it's like 10-1 in a way. Double op setup now coming in from Land Dodgers, and I don't know how this is going to help them come back from this. I guess just to fully contest Zortif, but really Stravis has been flanking them and just overwhelming them that I don't think the double op setup is necessarily the answer, but who knows? They could prove me wrong easily. Gonna jump down right away, use the smoke as a little bit of coverage. Okay. That was a little bit risky. It looked like almost that was a team kill, but not to be the case. It just was very, very close. Double ops are the only ones remaining. Zortif will take care of what? Oh, was that fall damage?
I think Polk just jumped off from upper and landed and killed himself with fall damage.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. They are still running strong. And looking to just still keep that train going. Oh my goodness gracious me. This is unbelievable. And one fall damage killed somebody. Well, fall damage literally disconnected somebody else.
Yeah, Land Dodgers is going to drop a player, so
they're going to dodge a LAN.
As a yeah, they're dodging a match online, and hopefully we've got a technical port coming through right now, and hopefully we'll be able to get him back in quite quick.
So maybe you can explain this better to me, but what was the thought process between the double op setup? Because Stravis was kind of like a big player for them, and now Zortif is coming into play. And were they really just focused on trying to counteract that op, or what else was a plan there?
I mean, the AWP is so powerful on train, especially on CT side. Like, everything is alongside. And, I mean, I know I said it's easy to weave between the trains on this map, but you can only do so much weaving, especially when B site entrances are so open to AWPs unless you use a smoke. The double AWP setup is understood, but, like, they haven't been able to use it all that well, to be honest. It definitely should have more of an impact than what it is, considering how big of a how much money it actually costs. And as we discussed this, a player from ATLANTS has dropped, but a player from Land Dodgers has come back. So it's still messing around. It's also worth mentioning ATLANTS has 3 players with over $10,000, and they've got 4 buys. So their economy is going to take a little bit of work to get anywhere near a reset. And it's really just paralleled by Land Dodgers setup right now. They have a Deagle, a CZ, a P250, and a 5.7. A little bit of armor and some utility, but God, that is poor, and it's going to be so difficult to defend against ATLANTS.
Yeah, and now let's see here. I'm doing a little bit of research on these players because I actually do recognize the Ramzik name and Jim. I don't know if that's the Jimka. I don't think that's the Jimka. Or is it the Jimka? Yeah, it is the Jimka from QBF that went on to Winstrike. So these are let's see here. I do recognize that. So Jimka, and then I'm curious about Ramzik because I also recognize Ramzik as well. Yeah. Okay. So all right. So they used to be part of Avantgar.
Ah, interesting.
Okay. So I remember that. So that Avantgar now has like people like Fitch, who used to be on Gambit, and Krizen. And then I do recognize Ramzik. Ramzik is, oh, I mean Jimka, excuse me, used to be in QBF, and then QBF got picked up by Windstrike, and then they benched everybody for the most part, except for Boombla, or Boom, Boom. And then let's see, checking out the others. Arc used to be on Team Spirit back in January of earlier this year, and then we also have Derziki, who's actually just only been on Land Dodgers. So this is a pretty amazing team to start out with. Also, Spaze used to be on QBF as well, so we might want to just pay attention to Spaze and Ramzik's sort of chemistry together. So I think maybe this is like recently put together kind of team. I don't know when this was formed, but these are definitely a team that have had experiences collectively. So that's very good.
Yeah, team cohesion or at least team chemistry can be incredibly impactful. Like,
Familiarity for sure.
Exactly. See it with VP. Like they've been playing together for so long, and I know not so much anymore. But when they're at their highest point and they've been playing together for so long, it was incredible to watch them play around each. Spaze is going to pick up one. Zortev is going to get a return onto him. So just a quick trade, but that's a expensive rifle out of the game for ATLANTS, which is not being picked up just yet, but you're still yet to see anything coming out in terms of a push from ATLANTS against his pistols. Although, as I say that, they put Pop Dog. Shots finally going out. Polt and Travis going to pick up kills respectively. Travis picks up 2 for himself, and last player alive is going to pick up 1. Just needs to get a couple more. He takes down Zortev so low, but Polt picks him up. And it's going to make it 0-9 in favor of ATLANTS.
Yeah, and that was one of the more closer ones that we've had right now. Going back for the double op setup, like you said, it is. I feel like we should definitely give them the benefit of the doubt because they've only had one chance to go for the double op. This is their second time doing it, but this should yield more results. They definitely have more utility for sure. We'll see how this goes. I don't know. They haven't been playing. It's not that their tempo is too passive or too aggressive. I think it's honestly maybe the target prioritization that's been happening a lot lately because Stravis has a KDR that shouldn't have happened within the first 3 rounds. So we'll see how that works out for them in the long run. They are now weaving through the trains. They're just going to go ahead and get this bomb planted right away. No time to waste. Already going to pick off. Not much damage done onto them. Schematic will go ahead and just keep everything protected. But Spaze managed to get them, but will be returned by Stravis. Stravis still keeping it strong. Now it's just the double op team coming in. We'll see how this works for them because, ooh, I don't know. Oh, they do manage to get Zortev.
Ooh.
Might be able to get it's 1v1, but Stravis is in a good place that's hiding, and there's not much time left. They do have a kit, and they're just going to go for it, but never mind.
Yeah, he needed to go for that.
That was the closest one.
That was a very close round. It could have gone either way at a lot of points there. So the double op setup nearly paid off, but just not quite. And it's also worth mentioning that ATLANTS used all of their utility trying to do a fake A and never went anywhere near there. They did 2 sets of smokes and in an attempt to try and fool the CTs. And to an extent it worked. I mean, they won the round in the end. But anyway, coming into the next one, we've got a lot of FAMASas on the side of Land Dodgers. Weak armor, weak utility. There, nonetheless. Zortev going to get a nice shot onto Ramzik. It's going to be him handled as the entry point is re-smoked. Well, that's a nice molly there, trying to get the players in hot dog, but
Oh no! Oh my gosh! Sort of. What a great response. They're. So I did a little more digging on Land Dodgers, not Land Dodgers, but ATLANTS, and these players. This is okay. Well, that didn't work out, unfortunately. This might be actually the first round where they actually win something. But I was looking at this. This is kind of their first. A lot of these players, this is kind of their first official like sponsored team that's playing together. So, this is something where like they're very familiar with everybody.
So, oh wow, actually Durski's, I was going to say he's quite low, but he's got a good position, but he does get taken down. It's just a 1v2 now. Jimka is the last one. He does get taken down 0-11 to ATLANTS. It's a very, very dominant performance so far. Land Dodgers, they've come close so many times, but they're just unable to finally close out those rounds. And it's just not happening for them. And ATLANTS going to be coming into this next one with a very strong back. And Orcs, full AKs, full utility, full armor. And on the other side, we have basic armor and FAMASas and essentially no utility.
That should have been their round.
Could say that about a lot of these rounds so far as well. Is plays are being made by Land Dodgers that just aren't capitalized on. So now, ATLANTS are going to be looking towards this A site once again. We'll see if they can pull it out and maybe get a bit more of a dominant capture of it. So far, it's been a little bit hit or miss whether or not they're going to win the. They haven't quite picked where they want to head yet.
They could pretty much do whatever right now. At the moment, this first half is pretty much theirs.
Especially this hold. This is a bit of a stack onto a site from Land Dodgers. Spade's going to take out the first kill of this push. Durski's going to pick up one of his own.
Oh,
so
wow.
now, Zortef's going to make the return as well. He's going to pick up two. We do have a flanking player, though. We do have a flanking Ramzik coming in through team main. He gets behind. Slazercat is going to pick him up. Zortef misses the shot, picks him up too. Skamazik's finally going to shut him down, but it's him 1 versus 2. Doesn't have any utility for that bomb. Meanwhile, he's going to contest with smokes and flashbangs on the side of the CTs. Takes down Archer at a very low health, but Archer's FAMAS is going to come out on top.
No kit.
He's got plenty of time to finish that one. And Jimka's got one as well.
I did not pay attention to when that bomb was planted. I was just like, okay, well, this team fight's going to go down very, very quickly. But they managed to finally do it. It's 11-1. Yeah.
Rips the dream.
And it's just because ATLANTS managed to get a little too comfortable and just walked right onto that site. So, well, now that 16-0 dream is gone, we are going to see them play a little more carefully, and just go ahead and wrap up this first half. This is it's kind of surprising from Land Dodgers, just sort of looking back at the history of some of these players. They're very good players. They're all very strong. They have a good history and background of working with other very professional players from Gambit and Spirit and Windstrike. And, you know, now this is, I think, well, maybe it's not as surprising. Maybe this is just because this is still them feeling out how everything's working out at the moment, and this is just they happen to have an opportunity, and this is how they are starting to learn how they work in sort of pressured tournaments like these.
So 2 picks are going to go the way of Land Dodgers already. ATLANTS aren't able to make any headway onto any site so far, even though Jimka's quite low. Yeah, like you said, these are experienced players. They know what they're doing, and all it's going to take is just for them to click on to what strats are being used by ATLANTS and then deploy counters, stop those wins from happening. And it looks like it's kind of what they've done. Is their defense on both sites have been pretty good so far. Ramzik's holding upper, then Nade's going to land right in Zortef's face, taking down to 55 health. And while he's going out, the push has to have 30 seconds left. That AWP is something to worry about. Zortef is going to burn Jimka, though. He just walked straight into the fire. He was so low. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Zortov tagged down to 1 health as well, trying to challenge Ramzik. Isn't going to go down there. Archer gets the bomb drop. Pulp takes him in return. Spaze grabs Pulp, and Ramzik's going to finally pick up Zortov in heaven there. So now Land Dodgers picking up their second round, making it 2-11 now.
And the economy's not as it once was for the side of ATLANTS. It's still got a good amount going for it, but now look at this. There's almost practically a full buy coming in from Land Dodgers, and this looks like they're very much comfortable in their natural habitat at the moment. This was who had this map pick?
I do not recall. I believe it was ATLANTS, but I could be wrong. As well, Zortov getting a nice kill onto Ramzik there. He's been a monster with that AWP so far. Definitely had great success as the AWP is picked up. Just opting to watch Team Main rather than worry about Ivy. Goes back to Peak. He's got a boosted Zortov to contest with, and Zortov, great sightline from him, is going to pick up. That's 2 picks going the way of ATLANTS right now. Good boost for Archer, but whether or not it's going to have a big impact is a whole nother question. Spay is pushing up towards Team A and trying to grab some intel as ATLANTS are looking like they want to execute onto A site.
Trade's going to come in at the moment. ATLANTS just going to pretty much just take this A site, and this is looking very strong. Oh! Just trying to live, and they drop that Molotov, but it's not going to be as big of a deal. They do manage to wipe out the rest of the team, and holy cows, 18-4 now for Zortov. In the gauge ratios right now, looking very strong for Zortov now, just taking over Stravis's job.
Yeah.
That was very much a round that they needed to win.
Definitely so. I mean, you see it now. You got the Deagles, the CZs, the UMPs, the FAMASs. They need to win this round. This is so. Dursky's going to pick up 1, but he's going to get flanked. That was a great flank from Travis, picking up 1 scams. Kamikazek's going to pick up 1 himself. And it's just Archer left with the FAMAS pushing onto the site versus 4 players. He gets tagged down a little bit. Slezak isn't able to finish off the kill, but does finally get taken out by Travis, adding up to his kill count. He's going to be sitting pretty on 20 kills now. That makes the first half 13-2 going the way of ATLANTS as we swap sides now.
Well, after a first half like that, where it was almost looking like it was going to be 15-0, how do you feel about things going down now for our good friends, George?
I mean, some team swaps can have a massive impact on games. There's definitely a chance if Land Dodgers can grab the momentum from the pistol round, could definitely take this out. But
yeah,
ATLANTS are looking so powerful right now, and I'm assuming their CT side is going to be pretty good. And like I said, if Land Dodgers don't win this round, then their chances of winning this series goes to essentially zilch.
Really?
Yeah, they'll have such a bad economic time after. Of course, you can still get the loss bonus, still pick up SMGs and armor on that second round, but you only have, 3 rounds to work with. If you lose all 3 or you lose the first 2 or even the first 1, you're going to have a very hard time putting together a strong buy to defeat whatever ATLANTS manages to grab.
That's fair. And not helping when you hurt your teammates, unfortunately, as that is almost going to be the case. But it looks like they do manage. Holt will be the first one to go down, but it seems like they're doing fine to just sort of go ahead and just hold this site, and they can go ahead and just defuse now. Don't have to worry about too much. Zortov was just holding at the top of train car, but not going to be the case as, okay, well, that is going to be a double kill for them. Low health for ATLANTS, but they do have the advantage. And there's the good old dink, and there's at least Lazekia going to be able to, or Lazika will be able to get the kit. So they managed to defuse just in the nick of time, and we are getting ever so closer to that match point, George.
Yeah, you can see it. The AKs are out, the UMP is out, the Deagle is out, the bank is low. Full buy from ATLANTS. Now it's essentially going to be a second pistol round in terms of deciding who wins, because both teams have essentially the same weapons to a certain extent, apart from Jimko being quite the weak link in the chain. But Kamazik's going to pick up that first kill, and that's not very good for them. That's only Jimko's Deagle lost. He didn't have anything with him, but to play it down nonetheless, it's one less game. One less gun, sorry. As Zika's actually going to get hurt a little bit, but not picked up quite yet. As ATLANTS putting together a pretty strong hold. That's Derisky down as well. Two players in Ivy looking to push through on the side of LAN dodges. It's because they're the challenge.
Go ahead. Polt gets space. And this is looking like match point still. Polt does go down, but they are just going to be able to trade that out. And this is match point. There's almost no money. They're just going to use the money that they have right now to just go for P250s, Deagles, maybe a weapon, a sniper rifle. Sure.
Whatever
Why not?
works. Yeah, sure. I mean, they essentially have 3 scouts with the addition of 2 Deagles. Flashes, armor. If they do something silly, they could do it. But the buy is very strong from ATLANTS.
We have come to the Lunchables kit of utility right now, George. This is what LAN Dodgers has. They have been given a Lunchables pack and told to make a turkey sandwich with cheese and crackers. And now we're just going to see what they can do with what they have.
No aggression coming out from either side right now. This is kind of different to what we've seen before. These players are just holding on to their slice. ATLANTS knows they've got this a very good hold right now, and that's not a good sign. Ramsik going down early to Lazix. Okay. Oh, he's just about got an angle on him. He just dinked him through the blue container. Didn't quite finish him off. It's on 20 health, but that did scare him off. They know he has a scout. But he's looking to recontest. All he has to do is tickle him. They both climb the ladder at the exact same time. Polt isn't able to finish off the kill. Space takes him down, but Space is picked up as well as Archer by the same play. Travis gets taken down, but it's just Jimko versus 3 other players, and he will go down. So that's going to be ATLANTS versus LAN Dodgers over, with ATLANTS obviously being the victor. And they are one step closer to IEM Katowice.
That is very true. Well, LAN Dodgers did not put that great of a show, to be very honest. Of kind of synergy with the team. Obviously, there was communication there. I could feel. I think right now, just the synergy of the team is still a little bit work in progress, which is understandable. But we'll see how this goes. I'm definitely expecting a lot more different of a result in their map pick, but I could also be wrong as well. But I'm going to be half glass full and say that given that this was ATLANTS map pick, this is obviously why they chose the map. They prefer. Oh, never mind. They won the entire set.
Yeah, the series is, like I said, ATLANTS is one step closer to IEM Katowice. If they manage to get too much further, it'll definitely be something cool to see. I have been George Basil. This has been Bemi with me all. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of the IEM Katowice CIS 2019 closed minor qualifiers. Feel free to follow us on Twitter, GBJ Tweet, and Bemi Esports.
That's right, and you better vote a phone there because we also need to thank our sponsors as well.
That'll be Intel, ESL, Vodafone, Predator, and Hyper bringing this cast in. So once again, I have been George Basil J. This has been Bemi. Thank you for watching CappingTV, ESL. We'll see you next time.